Hey guys, so for today's movie review, I'm going to be telling you about the film The Judge. It is a Steve Dobkin film, and Steve Dobkin has worked on The Wedding Crashers for those who've seen that. He's worked on a couple of other smaller things as well, but The Wedding Crashers is definitely one that he's probably more noted for. So The Judge, you guys, it's a comedic drama that stars Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Duvall. And Robert Downey Jr. is this lawyer who takes on cases where it's very unlikely that the person he's going to be supporting in court will win the case. Their side is less favorable than the other person's side in court, and so he always tries to help out those people. And so during this one case that we see happen very early on in the film, he gets a phone call from someone in his family saying that his mother has passed away, and that he really they really want him there for the funeral, and so he has to travel back home, which is quite a while, quite a few hours away. He has to get there by a long car drive, or has to take a plane there, since I think it's all the way out in Indiana, and he's in some nearby state, but it's still pretty far away. And so he gets back there. The funeral happens, and early on, right away, you can tell that him and his dad don't really click that well. Something clearly happened with them at one point that made them kind of disconnect over the past few years. The two brothers that he has in his family stayed in their hometown the whole time, while he was obviously being a lawyer in other parts of the country. And so basically, you find out that there's kind of more to what's going on here than just the dad and the son not really agreeing with each other, not seeing eye to eye, even after the funeral's long said and done. And basically, to go out, basically in the least amount of spoilers I can tell you, it's really not even a spoiler because it is told in the trailer. Basically, Robert Downey Jr. sees something wrong with his dad's car. He's the only person who drove this car, even when the wife was still around. She never drove it. And so apparently he must have killed somebody with the car. And so the movie's basically, him becoming his dad's own lawyer for his upcoming court trial, which, he's a Supreme Court judge as it is. And so, this is kind of his first time where he's really not being the judge, he's the person being judged in the courtroom. And so it's basically throughout the course of the film, Robert Downey Jr. is really not only trying to connect with his father again, but he really needs to learn all the details of what happened, and who this person that he killed was. And so basically, it's him trying to really get all this stuff out of his dad, even if it's not the easiest thing to talk about with him. So I liked The Judge, you guys. It's not a great film, but it's definitely a good film. I would definitely say, if the concept intrigues you enough, maybe see it once in the theater. But if it's, you want to see it, but you're really not, you're kind of on the edge, you could probably wait till Redbox. It's not that urgent of a film to watch, but it's a very good film. It's not, like I said, it's not a great film, but it's a good one. So for my positives and negatives of The Judge, I really do think there are some terrific performances here. Robert Downey Jr., Robert Duvall, Vera Farmiga, and Billy Bob Thornton are all in this film and all give really great performances. Someone that really stood out to me was Robert Duvall. I really think this is an Oscar-worthy performance from him, to tell you the truth. I don't know if he'll win it, but I definitely think getting a nomination for him for this film would definitely be a smart choice on the Academy's part. He really does a great performance here. Robert Downey Jr. does a really good job here as well. For those worried that he's kind of going to do the whole Tony Stark thing again from the Iron Man films, he doesn't. It's a very you can definitely see little sprinkles of that character every once in a while in this new character that he's playing here, but it's a different character, and it's a character that I can definitely see some film producers looking at and really seeing Robert Downey Jr. esque presence for to make the film work, and it does. It does work very well with Robert Downey Jr. as this character. The film has a very intriguing concept to me. I like the concept of someone who's normally a Supreme Court judge um, being the person judged on court. I like how it's kind of in reverse now, where instead of him, deciding where the criminal's going to go from the court trial, it's now him being, somebody else determining his fate and everything. He even knows the judge that is basically going to decide his fate in court and things like that. They're not good friends or anything, so obviously they didn't have to worry about finding another judge, but. It's just a very intriguing concept. It's somebody that knows all about the legal and justice system. His son knows all about the legal and justice system since his son is a lawyer, and so it's just kind of a really intriguing concept how the son and the father connect with their jobs, and the father's definitely in a situation where he's kind of in the opposite end of what he normally does for his job, and I thought that was a really interesting thing to do for a movie. There's some really good family drama moments in this film as well. The film definitely has a good dramatic side to it. It definitely has a good honest side as to where Robert Downey Jr. stands with his dad and where Robert Duvall stands with his son, and it's just some really good family moments. Really kind of with these giving opportunities for these characters to really express how they're feeling about certain things. Whether the Robert Downey Jr. was far away, not close to home, and or the dad kind of being distant from him for throughout the years, and why Robert Downey Jr. was distant from the dad. Just some really good family drama moments like that really make the film work. Robert Downey Jr.'s character has a daughter in this film, and whoever they got for the child actress for this film really did a great job. It almost felt like I was watching Robert Downey Jr. working with his own kids at one point, because you really get the impression that this is a father and a daughter, and with him taking on all these lawyer cases and things like that, obviously he's trying to live life to the fullest with his little girl, and it's just they have great screen chemistry here, and it really shows, and it's really entertaining. And if this actress continues to be in future films, good luck to her. She really is a great little actress, and it was just really cool to see Robert Downey Jr. and her really feel like they're a real father and daughter kind of thing going on, and they just had great screen chemistry here. For my negatives of this film, there really are some abandoned ideas throughout the course of the film. Like they'll introduce something, but then they won't continue on with it. I won't go into spoiler detail, but I will say Robert Downey Jr. and the daughter of Vera Farmiga's character. There's something going on at one point between the two of them, and the film just kind of abandons it completely after a while. And it just kind of skips over it, and it skips over a couple of other things that get introduced, and they never really quite go through. Um, and speaking of Vera Farmiga, that's kind of my next point. Is there really is some forced romance in this film? Just it really didn't need to be there. The film did such a great job with Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Duvall working together for this court trial. Uh, you know, Robert Duvall coming to his senses and really kind of opening up with his own guilt, and Robert Downey Jr. trying to help out his dad. I really didn't need a romance story in here. I really didn't need this whole thing with Vera Farmiga living in this town this whole time, waiting for Robert Downey Jr.'s character to come back. With all these guys being nasty to her throughout the course of the years. I really didn't need this forced humor in there, this forced romance in here. It just really didn't work. I felt like they just put a relationship in the movie just for the sake of it, to maybe, I don't know, connect with Robert Downey Jr. some more, and it just really didn't work. They really didn't need it. This film was already 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I think a good 20 to 30 minutes could have been cut out of it alone by just this relationship stuff that really didn't need to be in here. Another complaint I have with the film is there really is some flat humor in here. This is a comedic drama, and the trailers make this look like it's a complete, straight up serious drama. The serious courtroom drama, but it is a comedic drama, and it's just that when the humor is trying to work, some of it just doesn't work. You can tell that they're trying to make it something that it isn't. And so, the humor wise, I thought the film was pretty flat for the most part. There was a few little cute jokes every once in a while, but for the most part, this is some pretty flat humor that really didn't need to be in there once again. And for the most part, whenever the courtroom stuff does happen, it's pretty generic stuff. It's stuff that you'll see in Law and Order and CSI, and stuff that you can already watch on TV right now. Um, I know it's important for a film like this and for a subject matter like this, but to me it felt pretty generic to what we've seen already on TV and things like that. So the last complaint I had about the judge is the ending kind of felt undecided to me. I felt like there was about two or three different times the film could have ended appropriately, and it really doesn't go with any of them. It just kind of ends when it runs out of gas and doesn't have anywhere else to go. And that's really disappointing because, like I said, I saw about two or three different opportunities in this film near the end of the film where it could have ended perfectly right there and then, but it just keeps on going on for no reason at all. And it gets to the point where it's just like, okay, we ran out of ideas, so let's just cut to black and end the movie. It had that kind of feeling to me. So The Judge, you guys, I give it an 8 out of 10. I do think it's a good film, but it's a flawed enough movie that I really can't say it's great. I really can't, with the forced romance, the flat humor, the generic courtroom stuff, and with an ending that really didn't feel like it knew how it wanted to end, the overall product of the movie. I really can't say this is a great film, but I will say it's a good film. So if you're intrigued by its concept, maybe give it a red box rental. Or if you're bored, maybe see it in the theater and just kind of get it over with and done with and never see it again after that. But The Judge, it's a good film. I will give it a thumbs up. A thumbs up. I think it is a good movie. 8 out of 10. But at the same time, I really can't see myself watching this numerous times over again. I don't think it's going to be known as that kind of film.